We're wide open to moving up. We are wide open to moving back. We're wide open to just sitting there and taking a guy that falls to us.
Obviously, we can move up, and you got to know what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it. You can try to increase your draft capital by moving down, or you stay the same. And the 4 of the first 35 picks gives you an opportunity to consider all those scenarios multiple times.
If you're looking for any more proof that crazy stuff happens in the NFL, look no farther than what we just saw. John Gruden, coach of the Raiders, Mike Mayock, GM of the Raiders. 2 years ago, one guy was a prominent voice and face on ESPN's draft coverage. The other was a prominent voice and face on NFL Network's draft coverage. Now they're working together to try to figure out which picks to make. And they've got 3 of them in the first round to utilize. And, Peter, it is going to be a fascinating night for Raiders fans. Also terrifying because the ultimate objective here, and I think this is why John Gruden is feeling the heat and feeling the pressure, you've got to make people forget about Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper with those draft picks that you're going to be using on Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, look, if there's one thing that the Raiders know that they want to do here, this is going to be the best draft position they're going to be in probably for the whole Mayock Gruden tenure. I mean, if it isn't, then Mayock and Gruden are failing miserably. And so this is a year where you know that, okay, we're okay at wide receiver because we've worked on that in free agency and in the offseason, and in trade. But I do think right now, when you look at what's happening in this draft, you know that the Raiders have to come out of here with some elements. They have to come out of here with without any question, they have to come out of here with a long-term idea of at least 2 more defensive leaders on this team. And that is something that I don't think you can underestimate for what they need to do in this draft. I've got them getting Quinnen Williams early, with pick 4. But the one thing that you can't tell right now, if Ian Rappaport is correct and they might pull a bombshell move, what actually could that be? I don't think any of us really know, but I think you have to start considering really major things. Would it involve a quarterback? Would it involve an existing player from another team? Would it involve Frank Clark? Those are the kind of things that are going to get answered on Thursday.
Yeah, that was the report yesterday from Rappaport about why the Raiders felt compelled to secure the room and send the scouts home. They need complete secrecy because they're apparently plotting some sort of a surprise. I'm going to tell you my theory in a couple of minutes about why they felt compelled to clear the room. But as it relates to a potential surprise, if Kyler Murray's there at number 4, I don't know that would be a surprise. I don't think he's going to be there at number 4. I think the bigger surprise would him being there at number 4, not the Raiders taking him if he's there. But what if there's a decision to take a Dwayne Haskins with the 4th overall pick? Rappaport mentioned that yesterday as the possible source of this surprise. And that wouldn't be a shock. But look, any quarterback they take, it's going to make us say, uh-oh, look at what the Raiders are doing when they have Derek Carr under contract. But we've already seen enough and heard enough from Mike Mayock to come to the conclusion that they won't be bashful about doing it if they think that Murray or Haskins or someone else is an upgrade over Carr. Mayock was incredibly candid about that a couple of weeks ago at his pre-draft press conference, admitting that they looked at these guys because you have an obligation, Peter, to always potentially upgrade any position, including quarterback.
And I mean, you almost would have to think at the beginning, if you're going to think about taking a quarterback there, do you have a landing spot for Derek Carr? Would Miami take Derek Carr for 1 or more than 1 picks? Could you dissuade the Giants from taking a quarterback by trading Derek Carr there? Washington. I mean, so those are the things we don't know right now, Mike. And I have always felt that I won't be utterly shocked if they do something at quarterback, just because at the Combine, John Gruden was so in love with Kyler Murray. So, we'll see what happens, but that's definitely going to be a place to watch on Thursday night.
All right, here's my theory on why they felt compelled to clear the room. Now, obviously, most of the scouts who have been sent home were going to be fired anyway because they are Reggie McKenzie guys. And now that the draft will be over soon, Mike Mayock and John Gruden can fill out the ranks of the scouts with the people that they would prefer to have working for them. The whole issue is, can they trust these guys? And you made a great point earlier in the hour about this need-to-know basis that most normally functioning teams would follow, which is the area scouts have no business seeing the draft board. They're not going to see it. My theory is this. My theory is John Gruden can't help himself. And John Gruden feeling that pressure to potentially hit a home run 3 different times in the first round of the draft this year, and if they do have some curveball they're ready to throw with the 4th overall pick, he's not going to be able to stop himself from visiting with the various scouts if they were in the building this week and bouncing off of them his plan for Thursday night, just because he wants to sound it out. He wants to talk about it. He's impulsive. That's kind of how he is. He's fidgety. He's nervous. He likes to talk. So they're protecting Gruden from Gruden by telling all these guys stay out this week. And the only people in the building that Gruden can talk to are the people who already know what the plan is. What do you think of my theory?
Not bad. It might be true. I don't know. I'd be guessing. And my guess would be that even if they didn't have a deep, dark secret, that Mayock would be totally paranoid about somebody leaking the fact that, wow, they like Cleveland Farrell over Dexter Lawrence. You know, if that got in one draft column, Mike Mayock would know that he's got a leaker in the room. And, you know, what I heard after this, Mike, is that they already feel that at least one piece of pretty confidential information was already leaked. So they wanted to seal it off completely. And so we'll see what happens. But I like your theory. I have no idea whether it's true. I think it's possible. I would guess that it's just that Mike thinks that area down lower in the first round particularly is an area that he wants to protect with all his might.
And, you know, it is amazing, Peter, just to get back to what you said earlier, how Bill Belichick runs his organization and how most normally functioning teams would run their organization. The area scouts wouldn't know anything. They wouldn't be in a position to have confidential information that would be leaked. It would be restricted to the people who only need to know, as you said, need to know basis, top to bottom. That's how you organize it. There's a military component to it where you wall off people internally who you don't want to even get to the point where you trust them or not trust them because you never give them information that they'd have to be trustworthy with. You seal them off without sending them home. That's what makes this so stunning, because I'm sure the Raiders are hardly the first team to be worried about area scouts knowing things that they shouldn't know and telling things they shouldn't tell. There are ways to keep those people from knowing things without saying, go take the week off, the biggest week of the scouting year, go home and do nothing.
You know, when the Patriots, when the Patriots basically prepare for a draft and are in the draft, and the scouts are in another room and the coaches are in another room. Remember the year they drafted Ross-I Dowling, the cornerback from Virginia? It was either late 1 or early 2, I forget. And he ended up being injury-riddled his whole career. He never really was a factor anywhere in the NFL. Well, that was the year that I think everybody in the outside world thought that Jabal Sheard or Brooks Reed was going to be the pick. You know, a couple of defensive linemen who had the ability to rush the passer. And when Ross-I Dowling was picked, I was told that so many of the scouts in the room just not threw their hands in the air, but that was an utter absolute shock. Nobody saw that coming. And that is why you don't let anybody in the room. I'm not saying that the pick was good, bad, or whatever. It obviously turned out to be lousy. But that's the kind of reason. That's the reason why you don't allow other people to know exactly what you're doing with your business. You don't want to give that away.
And let me take it one step farther, then we have to take a break. I may have mentioned this recently. In 2005, Nick Saban's first year with the Miami Dolphins, he told people in the building with the second overall pick he was taking receiver Braylon Edwards. He deliberately lied to people in the building, and they ended up taking running back Ronnie Brown instead. So that not only can you wall people off, you can spread false information to the extent that people can't honor the commitment to keep their mouths shut. If they do talk to somebody, they're going to give the wrong information to the people that they may be talking to in the media.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.